Hi, my name is Alex and I'm your guide in the outbound sales world. Today I would like to talk about your campaign metrics, why you should pay attention to it, and about which metrics you should care about. So let's start off why you need them. Basically, when you run a campaign, you actually know if it brings you good results or bad results. But in a perfect world, you run a campaign and you get the results you want. In our world, you need to do campaigns over and over again until you get what you're aiming to. And this is why you need to understand what works for you and what doesn't. Because if I have a template that brings me a lot of results, that doesn't mean that it will work for you, because you have another audience, you have another product, and so on. So this is why you need to understand if that subject line works for you, if that message text works for you, if you should contact the manager or the director of your target account. So all those things need to be tested for your specific case, and this is why you need to understand what works, what doesn't, and what performs better than the other. So there are three key metrics that you should pay attention to. That's the open rate, the reply rate, and the bounce rate. Now let's go through all the metrics one by one. The open rate gives you a few insights. So the first one, if your open rate is very low, around let's say 10%, that means you have bad deliverability. That means that your emails don't land in the inbox and you need to do something about it. There are several tools that help you to check your technical issues, if you're blacklisted, and so on. The second thing that influences the open rates is your subject line. Basically, if people aren't triggered to open the email, if they are not curious about your offer, if they don't get intrigued by your subject and this preview opening line, they don't open the email, and then you don't even have a chance to show the rest of the email. So this is also a trigger for you to review the subject and the opening line of your email. Now let's move on with the reply rate. This is a huge one. Oftentimes people say, like, I have a good open rate but a low reply rate. Why? What should I do? With email outreach, and same with the reply rate, there are thousands of factors that influence this metric, and you need to test it. So if you see that you have a good open rate but a low reply rate, there are a few things that you may start with. First off, try another messaging. Maybe your messaging was too salesy. Maybe it doesn't trigger any pain points in your prospects. Maybe you used the wrong language. Maybe the message was too long. So there are thousands of maybes. Just try another message. Try the message and see if it performs better or not. Second, try another persona. So if you have been targeting the CTO of Fortune 500 companies, most likely they won't answer. So try to target people who have lower positions, who are more likely to answer. Maybe that's your issue. And maybe you're doing the wrong approach. Maybe you need to warm up the prospects on LinkedIn before you send the message. So it's case to case, and you need to investigate it, you need to test it, and you need to compare the reply rates of different campaigns. So these are the ultimate numbers that you can measure based on the campaigns and see what people respond. The third metric that I personally recommend to track as well is how many leads or opportunities or clients, depends on your product or service, brings you the campaign. Because oftentimes you can have a very high reply rate, but 50% of your replies will be unsubscribe or remove me from your list. So this is not what you would like to see, and this is not the ultimate goal of your campaigns. This is why I would measure the open rate to understand if you get people interested, then the reply rate to see if people are reading through your offer and then deciding if it's relevant or not, and then the leads, opportunities, or closed clients that you get from this campaign. Because you want to know which way of approaching your customer is the best for your case. So those are the metrics that you need to compare, measure, and analyze. And one, last but not least, is the bounce rate. Just keep the bounce rate below 5-7% and then you're good. So this is also something you want to track and make sure that you stay below this target. So these are the metrics that I would say are universal and that everyone should track who does outbound. I highly recommend doing that in a CRM system because you schedule follow-ups, you can add people to nurture campaigns and so on. So I would recommend doing that in a CRM system. And then of course, you can have additional things that you track. For example, for some people, the click rate is important, depending on the goals that you would like to achieve. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer. Bye bye!